Hey everyone, it's your man DK coming back at you with another video of my experiences in Colombia. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up where I left off on my last, excuse me, a little parched there. I'm gonna pick up from where I left off talking about online dating and the type of women I've been meeting, and I want to specifically talk about the same two individuals from the last video. So I was talking about women on different levels trying to act like they're more than what they are, and it's almost very similar to some of the things that women from the United States do. And I was speaking about common things regarding women on income levels and educational backgrounds, and whether a family is from a low-income area or a middle-income family. So the two specific women that I was referring to in the last video, one was in a different part of Colombia, not in Medellin where I reside, and the other one was also from a different part of Colombia. And most of the time I don't entertain conversations with people from different parts of Colombia, because Colombia is split up like states. They may have 20 different states in Colombia. And then they're not always so close to one another. And these particular people that had some interest in me. Now, mind you, both of these women sent me likes stating they had interest, and then I just responded back to them. It wasn't like it was the other way around, where I made the initial contact and was pursuing them. And you would think that the response would be different, but they will like your profile and then expect you to chase them. And I just think that's a presumptuous attitude to have, particularly if you are from 85% of the income level background that is in Colombia, regarding where your family is from and how you grew up in stratas 1, 2, and 3, which are 85% of Colombia. And expecting to meet almost like a come up, and then have the nerve to exchange numbers with WhatsApp, and then start to have conversations to see if you have things in common. So I saved the conversations between me and these two individuals who were honestly after the same thing. It ended up trying to be a relationship, but only if you had a certain income level. Mind you, they're from 1, 2s, and 3 strata levels, not from good backgrounds or education. And you almost have to be a crime scene investigator when you're actually doing online dating in Colombia. You have to read between the lines and the subliminal statements that they're actually making. Sometimes they won't come out and directly say that they want a person who has money and wants them to actually be responsible and take care of them, marry them, support their kids, and be a stepdad, and do all this and do all of that. And it's a really, really naive and unrealistic approach to online dating in Colombia, because if the guys here, 85% as well, are from stratas 1, 2, and 3, they don't have the education to get the types of jobs that actually pay good money in Colombia. So if your expectations are not that high for them, how's your expectations supposed to be so high for me, and I'm from another country? And they make the assumption, as do most people from these low income backgrounds, that, well, I know this much about you. Even if you are poor from the United States, you make more money than me, so you must have some money. And that's true to some degree. It is. Because I mentioned in my last video, 30,000 US dollars in the United States is nothing, but over here is buying power of $80,000 to $90,000. So that statement does have some truth to it. But to demand and have that as a part of your things that you are interested in, I guess, trying to get out of a man, or I guess it's basically your laundry list. And I feel your laundry list shouldn't be that long with things that you're looking for in a relationship if you are an average person with regards to income and education. Just all you have is looks, and you should be ranked a certain way. Everyone knows that even if a woman is attractive, 6s or 7s, she's not going to be that way forever. People's looks start to decline at 35, 36, 37 years old. You start to decline at that point in your life. Even so, I see quite a few Colombian women over here in tip-top physical condition at 50 years old. That's actually kind of common. I would say 70% of the women in Colombia are in excellent shape. So, but still, it's still a thing of this. And let us use statistics and common sense regarding dating older women. You're not at this point in your prime. Your prime was in your 20s. If those days are gone, far gone, the laundry list should start to get shorter at this point, not longer. It's just what it is. You are looked at like a product. If you're 50 years old, and let's just use an analogy of a used car. A car that's new has high value. A car that has 5 or 10 years loses a lot of value. And then a car that's 15 years old, even if it is in mint condition, it's still you can only get a certain amount of money, and for that car. And these women are trying to sell themselves on being in shape and being attractive, and that's all they got. They don't have anything else. And your laundry list should not be the same as it was when you were in your prime. And it is a consensus over here with these women online. So anyway, I kept the conversations that I had between the first woman and the second woman to actually show you the types of things that you have to be suspicious about in the verbiage in the conversation. One of the women asked me, she said, "Where do you live?" I said, "I live in Medellin." And she knew that already. And then she kept going back and forth with part of Medellin. And that's only because she's trying to figure out what Estrada neighborhood I live in. If I say in Poblado, automatically she knows I stay in 5 or 6, and there's probably some money involved. If I say I stay in 2, 3, I'm just as broke as she is. So that's a slick way of asking how much money I make. And as I said, if you're on an average level yourself, you can't demand a person that makes more than what you already have. You can't miss nothing you ain't never had. You didn't grow up within money or upper middle class neighborhood. So why are you so demanding that you need to have that type of lifestyle when you didn't grow up that way? You should be appreciative of the person, number one, before you start thinking about what the person can do for you, particularly if you come from average background, just like the other 85% of Colombians do. Now, if you grew up in 4, 5, and 6, middle class, upper middle class, rich, yeah, then your demands list can be a little bit longer. But it is almost very, very similar characteristics from the women from the United States that Colombian women actually have. And I'm just not speaking about this from experiences of a couple of months. I was in Colombia almost 4 years ago and experienced that. So it's 4 years later, and it's still the behavior is still consistent. And it's not just like a one-time thing on this dating site. It's all of the dating sites are like that. So there's actually nowhere to run and hide. If you're gonna deal with online dating in Colombia, these are the types of things you're gonna have to deal with. And excuse me, I have been trying to think of, excuse me, a little parched. Think of different avenues, other avenues on how to pursue women, the ones that I want to pursue. And I actually came up with a decent strategy that I've actually put to use, having business cards and putting myself in professional atmospheres where I know women who are going to be educated and have jobs are. And one particular place I saw a couple of years ago, this is probably 2019, I took a guy, associate, he asked me to do him a favor with picking him up and taking him and dropping him off to a medical appointment where he was going to be under anesthesia. So, you got to bring somebody with you. And I was with him, and we were in his medical building office. It was all medical, doctors, nurses, all types of professional people. That's the place to be when you're looking for some women. So there was women in there, all attractive women, all over the place in scrubs. So I know they either were doctors, nurses, some sort of professional jobs, and that is where one needs to be with their business cards, dressed professional themselves, and you're just gonna have to take some risks and approach a woman and hand a business card out and see if she has some interest in meeting somebody. And in a place like this, I'm not saying go in there expecting you're going to get a number, but you have to put yourself in good environments. Like even banks, I noticed one particular bank, Colombia branch, that was in a very nice neighborhood. I noticed professional women in there. So I know there are professional women around Colombia. You just have to be in a certain area where a good office building. I tell you another place, EPM is the billion-dollar utility company that services Colombia as well as other countries. Utilities, gas, electricity, water, all the things that you need. And they're headquartered in Medellin and at a place called Plaza Maya. And it is a huge headquarters that they actually have security guards and dogs out there. And it's actually right next to Medellin River Park. Very, very nice area. And I've been over there many times. Because when I first came back to Colombia, I was actually staying in a hotel over there where I caught a good deal because of the prices dealing with pandemic. And I stayed across from there for almost 2.5, 3 months. Nice to be over there working out, walking around the EPM building because it's huge, a huge complex. And I would walk at night, and I would always see security guards, armed security guards with dogs, and I was always like, "What is this place?" And I'd see EPM, but then I couldn't put it together that that was their headquarters, because I didn't know that they were being out of company. I just thought that they were local to Colombia only, but not the case. So sometimes I would get up in the morning times and go out across to a coffee shop, and I would see professional women dressed in business suits, pantsuits. They got an ID bag on, carrying a briefcase, or carrying some kind of books. That's another place where one would be. And then the restaurants that were near there, you should be around there at lunchtime, and you probably meet somebody that's professional and educated and definitely has a job. But as I said, it's rare. It's almost like they're a unicorn. So I was talking about that 7% that's only available out there. That's educated, in shape, and comes from a good family. It's just that the other 85% that I was talking about, they just have the dating sites on lock. And one thing else I still haven't gotten past is the girls that go on the site, on these dating sites. You can look at their profiles and tell the last time that they were active. And Colombia and Cupid claims to be the #1 site. And I actually did an experiment to actually see what the competition was regarding men on there. You have to understand this. The Colombian guys here may not have the money that you have, but some of those guys, no homo, are extremely attractive dudes. They are, just like the women are. It's just in their cultural, ethnic background. It's something in the water here. People are very attractive here. So you might not be better looking than a Colombian guy. The only way you can compete with, some of these guys, it's going to have to be from a financial aspect. But some of these women want that type of guy that looks like that, and for him to have some money and some sort of background. But the chances are rare. And an educated person would understand the probability of you having access to a guy like that. There are some guys like that over here who are extremely attractive and successful, but they have so many options. They're not on no dating sites, trust me. They're not. They are businessmen, upper management guys that work at banks, the EPM building, like I said, in upper management. They're lawyers, they're doctors. Trust me, there's some competition over here. And a lot of these guys that come over here from other countries think that it's no competition. No, you are competing with these Colombian dudes, whether you think so or not. And I've seen guys on motorcycles, and I'm not talking about the expensive motorcycles that we have in the United States. I'm talking about 250cc. That's nothing with regards to a motorcycle. That's almost like a lower class scooter. So they don't have any sports bikes over here, that's what I mean. Or Harleys, the bikes that cost 25, 30, 40,000. You're not gonna see that over here. You're gonna see something that costs $2,000 or less. I've seen some guys on some hoopty scooters, and that's what they do. That's what the majority is. That's all they can afford. And they'll stop on the street and take their helmet off, and you might be walking past and you look up in the guy's face and like, damn, that dude is a nice looking dude. But clearly he ain't making no money. But he got some kind of girl, and a lot of times the girls will be riding on the back of the scooter with the dude delivering food. They're food deliveries and grocery deliveries. That's how they make their money. You're not gonna make a lot of money, but that's what they got, Maybe most of the time they don't have the educational background to get a job. That's the best they can do. So him and his old lady will be doing that together. And she'll take her motorcycle helmet off, and you'll notice, damn, she cute. But she with him. He ain't got nothing, but she with him anyway. That's what I'm saying. Some women are just going to base it off of their attraction, their love, and they waste their youth, chasing love. And they'll mess up and have a baby too young. That's another thing I noticed they do, and they do that in the United States as well. And not thinking about their future, meaning this: women they control access to sex. No one, I think, that's attractive like that should, be, chasing love. Love is overrated. It is, because people fall in and out of love all the time. People grow apart from one another. And you don't really know any of that stuff when you're young. So you just chase your heart. But if the girl comes from a background of no money and the guy doesn't have a background of any money, they still will marry each other and have children and try to make the best life they can. And a lot of times they grow apart and get divorced. The guy won't pay child support. That's another whole topic. We can talk about that. Child support over here is not enforced. Now, excuse me, in the United States it is enforced and niggas don't pay child support. I'm not referring to color, I'm talking about ignorance level. So we got white, black, whatever. You're ignorant, you're doing ignorant stuff, and the word nigga applies to you, then what it is. That's what it is. So niggas in the United States don't pay child support, even though the damn child support people can garnish your money and lock you up and some more shit. And I had somebody in my family like that, I ain't calling no names out, old child support, and was going through hell dealing with that child support. Threatening to having to go to jail and some more stuff. So they don't play that shit in the United States. But over here in Colombia, they don't enforce that shit. So dudes is not paying child support. And even if they are, they're only giving, they might give a woman $40, $50 a month for a damn child. What the hell is she supposed to do with that? So these women that I'm referring to, this chasing love, they ought to be smart and not have a child with the person. You can be in love and date the person, see how it goes. And if the man is not educated enough or has any type of vocational skills to earn any more than the average wage, I'm not seeing a point why you would go out and have a child with the person or even fucking marry him. For what y'all gonna do? Two broke people can't make it. That's fucking mathematics, bro. Mathematics 101. If you broke and I'm broke, what the fuck we doing? Nobody's saying you can't have sex with the person and date, and the woman should stay on birth control, and then actually wait a little while and keep dating, and then try to figure some shit out before you have a child. And then you get mad when the guy don't pay child support, and then you say guys ain't shit, this and this, because they put it in their profiles and they say it. And then those particular women were dating the wrong guy in the first place, and she calls that. And then she wants to generalize all guys ain't shit or guys cheating. I was like, nah, those are the fucking niggas you was dating. Niggas is for the streets, and you didn't recognize they for the streets because you chasing love and shit. So, bruh, as I said, anybody over 35, 40 years old knows love is overrated. Other things, it must be some other common denominators within your relationship for you to make it a long period of time, and it ain't all about love. It's a combination of different things. Freaky ass sex, ability to make money, education, background, commonality. Do you like each other? Can you talk with one another? All of that culminates love. That's just in my opinion, and I think that's what it is with most people in a healthy relationship. And you gotta understand something. Women can act over here, be some actresses like a motherfucker, and these guys come over here and they need to be mindful of that and be skeptical about a lot of these women over here. That's why I said the guys should do some research and look at statistical data, particularly with what I said about 85% of Colombians are average or under average. So that should tell you already, and you apply that 85% to any woman you meet. So 8 out of 10 are gonna be here. So, and I'm saying this, I've seen older guys jump too soon out there to get engaged with the girl. Now I ain't gonna lie, I done did a couple of engagements myself in the last couple of years, but that's as far as I went with it. When I saw that it was fucked up and it wasn't going nowhere, and the person basically switched up on me, I fucking let it go, and then I just said, well, fuck it, I ain't engaged no more. That's as far as I took it. But these dudes is taking it far further than getting engaged and getting married too quick. You can stay engaged for like a year or two to see what the girl gonna do. But after 2 or 3 months and then you get married, man, the cat did that, bro. He was like over 68. He had his retirement, and that's all he had, and he couldn't go back to work because he was too old anymore. He lost half his fucking pension doing that stupid shit, married some motherfucking woman so damn quick. Hadn't known her fucking 6 months. And then he had a problem with the woman's son. The woman's son like 23, 24 years old, and he's a part of the package. He should have told her ass, look, he's a grown ass fucking man, and he needs to move the fuck out. Matter of fact, I'll give him a couple dollars so he can rent a motherfucking room. But see, they don't do that over here. A lot of these women, I told you, baby they motherfucking kids too much and depend on their kids too damn much. Instead of putting their asses out the damn house, particularly men, man. I'm not saying these rules apply to women, but I think if a woman is 35 years old and still stays home with their parents, I think that you probably need to go ahead and make a move to move out. At least to get roommates if you ain't married. But man, and definitely a damn guy, man. Come on, man. How you gonna be 35 years old and still stay with your fucking family? And then you got children. You got a baby's mama over here and over here. You still stay home. It's not a matter. Some people need to stick together, but you know what that does? It also makes people irresponsible, particularly with guys, because they know that they can depend on their family. Meaning that if you stay 4 or 5 deep in the house and everybody's putting up money, everybody got a paycheck, they put it together. Still, man, you can't say that you're independent. Their definition of being independent and people from the United States definition is different. I ain't talking about the generation that is in the United States now. I don't know what the hell they call them, millennium babies or whatever generation they from. Let's say in the last 20 years. Because people have changed the United States as well, letting their kids stay in the house too long with kids doing the same type of behavior that I'm discussing. But when I came around, bro, the parents gave you lectures about, junior high school, you better start thinking about college. If you ain't got the grades, you better think about going to the military, or you're gonna have to go to the workforce. But you're gonna have to get the hell up out of here after you graduate from high school. That's what was told to us. Most of our friends, that's what they were told, and we had to come up with something. And a lot of times, if you were fucking up and not doing stuff what you're supposed to do, which happened to me, you're gonna need to get with a couple of friends of yours and put y'all's money together, man, and try to get a place. And that's how you gotta hustle with each other. It makes you, more independent, and you gotta grow up at some point. Sometimes your mom or your dad will let you come back and stay, but it ain't gonna be for a long period of time. You might get a 4 to 6 month reboot, get yourself together, but you gotta get on back out there and get it. That's just what it is, man. But back to the guy that I was just talking about. Probably within 6 months, the woman started acting funny, and he was having these disagreements with her son. And basically what happened was he ended up moving out of an apartment he bought, but it's in her name. And he paid over $100,000 for his apartment. And she had a car. So he bought an apartment and a car for this woman. And then they ended up filing for divorce. All because he made a dumb move. And he had already been married before. I'm not understanding why he did that, even if he was pressed or thirsty. And I'm not saying I haven't been pressed or thirsty in my life for a woman, and I have. But you can't let that person know that. You gotta hold up and stay strong. Otherwise, you're gonna make a critical mistake that's gonna cost you some money. And when he was talking about it, he was sharing his bad experience when we were talking with one another. We were in a restaurant or something, and he was bringing it up. It was a bunch of U.S. expatriates in the restaurant, and we were sharing information, and that story he brought up. I was like, man, you should have put that on YouTube and put that out there so some guys can actually see that. So all the stuff that I've been talking about and complaining about and giving my opinion and my experiences that I've gone through multiple times since I've been here have a common narrative with some of these other guys that I'm meeting, and they're saying the same things. So it can't be, all our faults. Some of it is by being naive and being stupid, but everybody can't have the same bad story, man. I haven't met too many people over here that have had successful relationships. A few of them. And I still look at those relationships as this one particular guy. I saw his YouTube video of a guy that shot. He was over here doing daily videos, and his channel was actually pretty decent. And some of the stuff he described was very accurate. And he interviewed this one guy a couple times, and he was married, and he looked happy. And his wife seemed like she actually really cared for him because he interviewed them, and you can tell in her body language the way she was acting towards. She was acting very grateful to be with him, as you should. And clearly he was retired, and I don't know what he did for a living, but he actually I think he had a little bit of a good retirement or a pension plan or whatever because of the areas that he was living in. So I was super impressed with that guy. So it is possible to meet the right person. His wife wasn't super pretty, but neither was he. So it was actually like a good match. I would say she was about a 5.5. But he was like an average 4, but they look good together. And then their chemistry and their body language, they seem like a very good match. Now that guy probably could sit down and give you, some advice, because he's actually been over here for a while as well. He's been over here for a couple of years, and so it does happen. But most of, as I said, most of the people that I've met in the last couple of years over here haven't had, good stories like that. Most of the stuff has been negative experiences. They've even, we're talking about some experiences of guys getting drugged, and I just thought they were lying at first when they first brought it up. I heard it like 3 years ago with a flower called scolio. I might be mispronouncing it, but it starts with an S. It's a hallucinogenic type of drug that it's a flower, and people will grind it up and get the extract powder and actually drug you with it. And it's almost like some truth serum. And I just could not believe that people were actually getting duped like that. And then I saw multiple people complaining about it on YouTube. And then I actually met some people in person, Americans that this had happened to. And one of the persons had their actions on video, where she had actually gotten drugged, and the perpetrators that she was with, she actually took them back to her apartment and helped them rob her. She was moving her stuff out under the influence of drugs. They took her furniture, laptop, all kinds of stuff. She was willingly doing it. And also went to the ATM machine. That's why it was just unbelievable. But once you saw the video, it was actually true. And then another guy who complained, and then another guy. So it's actually real. But one thing in common I noticed that they had are just people they just met, and they were being overly friendly with people and trusting. And that's where they went wrong, particularly with the guys. The guys' stories were always, they were trying to, smash something, and they was going out with random women that they were meeting on these dating sites and Facebook and other places. And you have to be extremely cautious. Remember what I said about the 85%? You gotta apply the 85% rule to these women. 8 out of 10 are not from good families regarding money or educational jobs. Those are the ones are gonna look to jack you. So you gotta be careful. If you're gonna deal with that type of woman, you need to be hella careful. Never take that type of woman straight to your apartment. Never. And actually, you should never have her to suggest you meet her somewhere. No, you need to tell her to meet you somewhere in really open public, somewhere in a mall. Because if she tries to drug you in a mall, it's not going to work. Somebody's going to notice something, that you're drugged and you're acting funny. And there's too many security and police around there, so the person wouldn't try that. But even so, if the person met you there, she might still be playing you, trying to set you up. Because I know another guy that had a bad experience. He wasn't even drugged. He was drugged on stupidity. And, when he was telling the story, once again, here again, he caused it by, being trustful to somebody he was smashing. And, when he described, the background she was from that 85% category. Bruh, she went through his stuff while he was either in the shower or in another room, and she got access to his, something to do with his banking and ATM stuff. And she threatened to blackmail him. And the way that he was telling the story, it didn't sound like it was going good. And I know he was capping about some of the shit. Basically, to get his stuff back, he probably had to pay her. And that's the part he didn't really want to come out and say. And the way that he was describing it, as though he couldn't believe that she did that. But then once I sat and listened to his whole story, I asked him, I said, bro, if you knew this chick was broke with 2 kids, why are you bringing her back to your apartment in the first place? If you just wanted to smash her, bro, you could have just took her to a hotel and kept it on that level. Nah, but he too cheap. Too cheap to get a hotel room. A hotel room, man, bro, is $25. What's $25 to protect yourself? And then with that type of girl, bro, you gotta set some rules. Like, look, if I'm gonna date you, and this is what it's gonna be, this is how it has to be. I'm gonna give you a certain amount of money a month, and we just gonna smash, and that's all it's gonna be. She can't make no other demands on you. But he apparently must have fell in love with the girl, because he didn't come out and say it, but his actions demonstrated that. Because why you're banking an ATM and your stuff like that when you bring somebody over, particularly if you have known her that long, and you know she's from a struggling background, bro, you put your stuff in a safe, and you have a safe in your crib, a digital one. Or either just lock and key, man. Lock your stuff up. If you know you're going in the bathroom to take a shower, or you're going in the bathroom to use it, you're going to be gone 15, 20 minutes. You don't let nobody roam through your apartment. And that's where he made his mistake. And I'm not saying I have made mistakes with women, but I've been jacked before, but not like that. That's a different type of jacking. I mean, this happened when I think I was less than 30. Me and this chick got to beefing about something, and I probably was talking shit back then because I was in my prime. And I went in to go take a shower. Shorty took my keys and stole my damn car, bruh. Stole that motherfucker. I was in disbelief. And she was trying to hold my keys hostage. I had already been smashing her. We got in an argument, and this is what she did. I had called the police on, the police said, you can't report her for car theft because I knew her. By association, it's a misdemeanor. So when the police went with me to get my keys, they didn't do shit. I know they was laughing at me. She opened the door, like, what do you want? With the police standing there. And the police said, hey man, this man need his keys back. And when she gave me the keys, she had broken the primary key off in my car door. And the police was laughing. He was like, ain't nothing you can do, bro. You gonna have to call AAA. So bro, I had to call AAA because to get a locksmith to come out and pull the key out to get in the car, then make me a spare key, bro. It was such a long process. I think it was about $150 involved, probably about 5-6 hours over a damn argument. So if I've had bad experiences like that with women, I'm going to remember these experiences. So in further dating experiences moving forward, I gotta be leery of that type of stuff happening. And so when the situation happened with old boy getting blackmailed, that was his fault, out of stupidity. Then after that, bro, he still kept dealing with her. I think he said he cut off for like a month or something, and she hit him back and tried to deny that she wasn't trying to blackmail him, and some crap she made up about the dude. And he still was messing with the girl. And I was like, you applejack, cornball ass nigga, what you doing, bro? And this is one of the same niggas I'm talking about that had got a motherfucker try to give you advice on dating. Nigga, you ain't in no position to give nobody no advice making motherfucking cornball ass motherfucking decisions like that, getting jacked by a poor chick. Goddamn, she didn't even drug your ass, nigga. You was drugged on pussy. Damn. And I don't see how a nigga can get pussy whooped from a girl who done had 2 kids, bro. Come on now. I'm not seeing it. But, you know, as he was telling the story, he didn't want to take, he didn't want to take any kind of responsibility. He tried to make it seem like it was all her fault. But as I said, if he wouldn't have been so trusting, she wouldn't have been able to hit a lick like that with him. And he still could have been smashing. But hey, like I said, man, after the situation happened, it shit off for a month, he still went back and fucked with her. So I don't fuck with that bitch ass nigga no more. And that same nigga made a couple bitch ass nigga moves. As I was telling you in the last podcast about bitch ass niggas I keep meeting in Colombia from the United States, doing these types of behaviors, and then, you know, getting up on these YouTube channels and motherfucking telling a whole different story. You know, if some bullshit like that happened, you need to take it as a learning lesson and try to pre-warn other niggas coming over here, being some trusting. And I'm not gonna say I'm not trusting sometimes, particularly if the woman is attractive and you try to smash out, yeah, you give it a little bit more trust. But hey man, you still gotta have your spider antennas up, man, when she say certain things and doing certain things. And for the most part, if you're dealing with the girl for the first month, man, don't be meeting her at no place she want to meet at. You have to keep control of that. And you need to let her know that, hey, this is what I'm offering. If you don't want to meet me at this restaurant, then hey, I'll catch back up with you some other time. You don't let the girl dictate to you to say, meet me at this restaurant, particularly she ain't paying for it no way. Hey, that's another thing I want to bring up. Understand this. I've been meeting a lot of bitch ass niggas from the United States that come over here with a mindset thinking these girls gonna pay for dates. They don't pay for dates over here, bro. That's known. The Colombian dudes gotta pay for fucking dates, even if it's buying a bitch a hot dog with some coleslaw on it, which is the nastiest shit in the world. If anybody who's had food in Colombia know exactly what I'm talking about. These motherfuckers cannot cook over here. They use low grade ingredients, they can't season for shit. So, and I'm talking about this is at a typical restaurant. Now you're gonna have to go to more upscale restaurants and the food is a lot better, but you can necessarily tell, even at fast food restaurants like American franchise like McDonald's or Burger King, it don't taste the same. And the reason being is how the ingredients they put in the food. That's what it is. They don't use the best quality of meats as the United States does. And it makes a difference. But I said that to say this, that when you're going out with these women, even if they for the streets type women, you're gonna have to pay for the date. And they expect a certain level, man. You can't take a bitch to McDonald's, man, and think you're gonna smash, bro. You can get away with spending about $30 here, $35 just on, 2 people, and be at a upscale restaurant, some place that she's not used to going to. And that will be enough to impress her, to let her know, this is where I'm at in life, and this is what I can do for you if you with me. I might not per se give you any money out of my pocket. But when you're with me and you're going out, I can at least take you to nice restaurants, take you to the upscale movie theater. Movie theaters are different in Colombia, as such in the United States. If you go to one of the richest malls, there's two really rich malls in Medellin. And those movie theaters in there, they all that. So if you're gonna take somebody to the movies, you need to take a woman to those particular movie theaters because they're upscale movie theaters, period. And still the prices are nothing here compared to the United States or even Canada or whatever. So like I'm saying, a good upscale date is not gonna set you back no more than 30, 35. And you'd be surprised that guys are complaining about $35. And yeah, you're gonna have to pay her Uber fare too. Up and back might cost you $10, depending on where she lives. You live in some good area, she probably gonna stay 30, 45 minutes away from you, and you're gonna have to pay, somewhere between $5 to $6 one way. Depends on the date and time you go out. If it's on a Friday or Saturday, the prices and demands of Uber's gonna be high. So if you add that to the date, we're talking about $50. And you got dudes in here complaining about $50. What $50, bro? 15 of the dollars are actually on you. So you really only spent $35. What the fuck is $35, bro? You're spending $35 on a 3.5 gram in a damn weed shop. You spending $35 on a bottle of Jack Daniels that you crush in one night. What the fuck? $35 won't even get you in the motherfucking Applebee's. Damn, if you want to try to eat good in the neighborhood, it's gonna cost you about $50 now. Now fucking 20 years ago, you probably could eat good in the neighborhood at Applebee's, some motherfucking, that 2 for $20 shit that was around. I don't think it's popping no more like that. You coming over here and being cheap in a country that's already cheap, bro. It's 4 to 1 on a dollar bill. 4,000 Colombian pesos to $1. Come on, bro. You killing them over here with the exchange rates. So, as I said, bro, a $35 dinner date is equivalent to about a $120 dinner date in the United States. $120, you can go up and Ruth Chris. You ain't gonna get a whole lot of drinks, but you can get you a piece of filet mignon, maybe 4 ounces of baked potato and a salad for maybe $50, $60, and then 2 people, we talking about $120, maybe another $10, $13 on the tip. Still, that's what it's equivalent to. And it makes you look good for your date. So don't come over here complaining about spending $35. That's how I can tell another damn dead giveaway to bitch ass niggas lying about how they were doing in the United States. They complain about $35. The fuck is that about, bro? $35? Bro, $35 in 2022 when the fucking inflation now in the United States is up, what is it, 10, 12, 15% inflation? Meaning that a fucking dollar, you can't buy shit with $1 no more. You need $1.12 to get what was worth 99 cents last year. Goddamn, we just went through pandemic of 2 years of fucking up. The economy was gone. People's businesses fucked all up. Niggas' lives fucked all up. And then you go straight into inflation. What the fuck is the United States doing, bro? And we supposed to be the richest motherfucking country in the world. GDP, gross domestic product every year. 24 trillion. And we gas costs over $6 in California, bro. When I was living in California, it was $4. And I thought that shit was outrageous. They said the gas in California is gonna probably hit $7 a gallon. And people's just getting back to work. And the hourly wage didn't change in California. So how the fuck is a motherfucker supposed to make it in the US with this type of bullshit going on? Then they talking about shortages with food because of the war that's going on with Russia and such. That's horrible in itself as well. So, between the pandemic and all this other stuff been going on the last couple of years, man, people been struggling, man. Most people been struggling to some degree. of discomfort and stress for everybody around the world. People are going through these things. But what I was trying to get at is, if you're gonna come over here from another country, particularly the United States, man, don't be cheap with these women going out on dates. And as a man, over 40 years old, bro, you should want to go to an upscale restaurant, and that's how you should do. You should be past the McDonald's stage. I'm not gonna lie, I hit McDonald's once in a while, but I'm not in there because I can't afford nothing else. I just might have had a taste for them hot salty fries, and maybe one of them apple pies on chocolate chip cookies, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Or that sweet tea, that's why I'm up in there. But that shouldn't be your main restaurant you talking about taking a girl to. And I've come across these cheap niggas doing this. And I'm like, bro, how do you expect to impress these women when you first meet them? I mean, goddamn. And you don't want to spend any money on these restaurants. I even spoke about, if you're dating younger women that are 15 to 20 years younger than you, which guys do, and if you have that option, that's fine. You have to expect to give that woman, man, at least probably 400 mil a month. That's about $100 US. And I'm not just talking about just giving it to her straight up. You're giving her money, particularly if you're dating and smashing her, to get her hair and nails done, per week. You want the woman you with to keep her pedicure, manicure, and keep her hair done. You want her to look good. And she probably was doing that anyway before you met her, but she might be, giving herself manis and pennies. But it should be common knowledge. If you're an older man and you got more money than the man that's 20 years younger than you, you ought to be giving that woman, bruh, as I said, man, 400 mil, $100 a month, just off of GP, bro. GP, general purpose. And she will appreciate that. At least the type of woman that's a decent woman would appreciate it. Now, if she takes it for granted, then, hey man, you know what you're dealing with. Or if you're dealing with some chick for the street, she ain't gonna expect that money. She gonna expect that and more. And you have to also control that too. I'm not saying you need to give her too much, because it then becomes an expectation that you need to be doing that all the time. But even if you are busy doing stuff on your grind, and I think you need to be on your grind. I don't care if you are retired at 45 or 50. You should have some other things going on in your life other than you coming over here chasing women. That's just me. But you can be having a midlife crisis, and now you reverted back to the behaviors of 20-year-olds. Because I see that all the time as well, and that has me thinking, what were you doing when you were in high school and when you were in college or whatever, the military at the young age? Were you not smashing women? Because if you were, you'd have had run all of that out of your system by now. Most older guys who've experienced sexual relations at a young age have had certain experiences, and if you happen to be a womanizer, at that time, because that's what it is. You call it whatever you want, bro. That's the political correct term. Player, pimp, whatever. You were a womanizer, and I may have been guilty of that as well. But that's what you were doing, and I think once you reach a certain age, you need to stop those types of behaviors, because they're not healthy anyway. I don't care if you think it's something to be bragging about. It's really not to sit here and discuss how promiscuous you were and how many people you slept with. It sounds good when you're younger, but as you get older and you start to actually think about life and what you've accomplished, and saying that you slept with 1,000 women, and that's what your claim to fame is. That's what you're claiming, that you've been pimping. womanizing. I don't know, bro. It's a sad case to me. For you to be glorifying that. And damn sure you don't want to hear that coming out of no woman's mouth. But hey man, they so damn bold and brash these days. These women will be on here talking about how many numbers they got. Putting shit up on Facebook, saying, I done got another one. I done put another one to sleep with this pussy. I mean, if a woman make those types of comments, bro, man, come on, man. That's a for the streets type of characteristic, bro. And you know it is. What good woman in their right mind would be on Facebook or Instagram bragging about she done put a nigga to sleep with her pussy? Bro, the dude who's asleep, he already know that. You don't need to be up on it bragging about that type of shit. God damn. I mean, hey man, you ain't gonna be young forever. So when you get like 30 years old, you don't wanna relive a damn fucking live video you done shot and put that shit out there on the internet for it to never go away. They might come back to you in the end. You might be trying to get married to be serious around 30. Some dude that you finally was trying to date and you finally got him and you got him to a point where he's willing to propose to you and go ahead and do the damn thing, and then he finds some fucking old ass video that you done shot at 20 and you in here bragging about you to put another nigga to sleep with the pussy. And he in here thinking like, well damn, how many times you do that? Trying to figure out how many bodies trying to figure out your body count. I don't know about you, bro. To be honest with you, man, it's gonna be a hypocritical statement, but I'm gonna say it any motherfucking way. No, nigga, I don't want to be in no serious relationship heading towards marriage with a bitch that's been for the streets back in her past. No, nigga, I don't. Even if I was, doing the same motherfucking behavior. I'm gonna just be quite honest with you, and that's a hypocritical statement. I'm not saying it's not. And a whole lot of people are hypocritical on certain things. Just like saying, I'm looking for a person who's in a community and doing good and doing all this, and then you try to front like you ain't really concerned about how much money the person made. Goddamn well you need money to live. And it's fucking important for you to talk about it, and then you try to skirt around the subject like it ain't important. You see that with women sometimes. They try to make it seem like finances should be at the top of the list. I don't know what you heard, but I'm not in particularly trying to look for no broke ass woman, and having a decent income, bro. That's like in the top three with me, with a woman. A lot of times that might come before looks, because I understand that as we get older and we age, goddamn, and any real love, any person that's been in a relationship understand that love starts to fade a little bit. As the lust wears off, after you've been having sex with the person for years, man, it wears off a little bit. You got to have some other, things in common and characteristics and stuff that keeps you interested in the person. So, with that being said, man, people need to be hella cautious on some of the stuff that they say in these motherfucking videos, man. Particularly, women. Guys sometimes can get away with bragging about their body count, but unfortunately, when women try to do it, it makes them look like, for the streets, and they look like straight prostitutes. And over here, you gotta understand, let's go back to the 85%. Many of these women had participated in some sort of prostitution, whether they doing webcam models. I've seen them put it in their profiles. They brave enough to put in their dating profile that they web models. Web models mean that they're in there doing seductive sexual acts on webcam and getting paid for it. That's what that means. Basically, she's for the motherfucking streets, bro, and she's not ashamed of it. So, I'm not saying that girl or that woman is not a good catch for somebody. She just ain't a good catch for me. And I'm basing it off that. You might not be a bad person, but man, there's certain things you can't do in your life and then, expect to move forward without being held accountable for some of your actions in the past. I'm pretty sure if I talked about some of the bullshit that I was doing when I was young, some of the shit is probably unforgivable to some people, you know, whatever. But, you know, in my mind, it's not. But, you know, people have certain pet peeves, certain things that, you know, it's important to them. But understand this, girls they're over here tricking. Don't think that they're not. They'll be in a motherfucking relationship and still be doing these webcam models. And the guy can't really say nothing because she's actually making some money. But, bro, I would be so fucking embarrassed about my woman. She got to do this type of, you know, work just so we can eat. And I would feel less of a man that I can't go out here and support her without her, you know, getting up on the internet and doing all these sexual acts and, you know, and expect that not to affect her, her mental, and it affects her confidence, and it affects how she feels about herself, because it does. You gotta be a strong person to get past working in a fucking brothel. And I'm not talking about being up in there for no week or two. You know, you've been in a strip club for years, and you're not gonna tell me that doesn't have any negative effects on you. And it does, you know, with women. Women get far more emotional, and depression and anxiety hits them hard. And sometimes you sit and listen to a woman that's 30 years old talking about she had a bad background, and she might mention prostitution and some more stuff. I feel bad for her, but bro, I ain't trying to wife her up. You know, I empathize with her, and I might smash her. Smashing and wifing is two different things. And, you know, sometimes the women actually get mad with you because you asking them about their sexual past. I had that happen as well. I was damn near engaged to this woman. And I started asking her some things. I was smashing, but I was asking information, and she was being evasive with regards to her body count. And then when it finally came out, she got offended because I asked her about a threesome. And then at the end of the day, she had been involved in it. Not just one, multiple. So I was like, that's really interesting to know that you were in, you know, if you weren't ashamed of what you were doing, why are you having a problem with talking about it? So I know she was doing some tricking because of the background she came from. So with that being said, she had the nerve to have a long laundry list. And she basically told me one day she still was young. And I was like, shorty, 30 years old ain't young. And I don't give a damn how young you think you are. Some of the acts that you spoke on and finally admitted to doing, you tell somebody you was involved in 3 ways. And somebody might not care, but I can tell you this motherfucker much. If they find out you was that type of freak and you were that promiscuous, you still like that. She tried to hide the fact that she said she wasn't like that because she had a kid and this and this. I say, listen, once a freak, always a freak. You freaking like that sexually, you liked it. Well, like you said, you did it one time. You said you was involved in threesomes. And then when she got graphic and detailed about it, I was like, bitch, come on now. And then when I was asking for some of the, you know, same things, she wanna act like she's some church girl now, or she's some reborn Christian. And I'm like, look, you know, it is what it is. You can try to hide and front all you want to, but back to what I was saying about women's demands and being unrealistic and acting like sex is not important. If you want some successful man to have a job where he is able to afford the type of lifestyle that you want, you need to have a certain skill level in the bed. It needs to be, you know, you need to be an expert in certain departments. And there's absolutely no excuse why you shouldn't be an expert because of all of the access you have to porn, on YouTube, they have graphic videos that will actually tell you what you need to be doing when you performing falapio. I might have mispronounced that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Performing certain sexual acts where they actually break it down to show you what you need to be doing so you can master this art of doing such and such. And as a woman, you ought to be mastering these things. As a man, he ought to be mastering certain sexual acts that you need to be doing to keep your woman happy. And a lot of times, people don't have these discussions before they get in relationships with one another. That's why I was asking the woman all of these, these questions about her background. She got offended, but I was just trying to find out if we were sexually compatible. Because I know if you're not freaking like I want you to freak, it ain't gonna work for me. I don't give a damn how attractive you are. If your head game ain't wicked, it ain't gonna work for me. And women know that as well. If you got some trash head at 40 years old, all these experiences, sexual experiences you should have had as a man, you ought to be an expert in head. I'm sorry. Dudes been giving head back in the 80s, bro. Back in the 80s. I mean, damn. And but I don't know what these young niggas doing, with this trash head. But these goddamn girls are so fucking bold on Facebook and YouTube with these comedy skits. And they getting these skits from somewhere. A lot of that shit they probably talking about dudes having trash head is probably true. But, back when I was coming around, nigga, we had to master certain things, to keep a woman. See, that's how people cheat on each other, because they not motherfucking, mastering certain sexual acts. And you gotta keep your man or your woman from cheating on you. And you gotta keep a person pleased. Otherwise, if you don't keep them pleased, there's gonna be some sort of infidelity going on. And it's not always, guys doing it. Women cheat just as much as guys do in the United States. They already have done studies about this stuff. Guys cheat like, I think, 26% of the time, and women were cheating like 21% of the time. So, and many of the times, these people had infidelities with one another. A lot of times it came back to sexual incompatibilities. So let me tell you something, man. If you're 21 years old and up and you're dating seriously, you need to have a serious conversation with a person that you have intentions on being with for a period of time, or you're trying to develop the relationship to the point where you're getting married to the person. Your freakiness level needs to be compatible in order for it to work. And I've actually had some conversations with some older people at the time about this. They were not graphic, but, excuse me. They were not graphic, but they said sexual gratification was important. And this came from a woman who was saying this. Somebody who was in my family was saying this. So if they were saying it, and this person was a respectable person, that I had a lot of respect for. So if that person said that, then they pretty much know what they're saying. And these younger people now are so graphic and so brash and blunt, with coming out saying things. I think it's good in a way. I think it's good to be that blunt and bold sometimes, and being straight up and honest to say what you actually want out of a relationship. But you can save yourself a whole lot of time. They say the term, "Oh, you gonna learn today," and that might be, a true statement. But I'm not willing to, sit and teach somebody how to, be an expert in something that they should know at this point. And I'm not talking about no 21-year-olds. I'm talking about 30, 32, 33, 34 years old. A woman of that age should be an expert in certain things. And there is absolutely no excuse why that person is not doing that. And that has to do, as I said back, with having sexual compatibility. And it's also things like financial compatibility. You need to understand how money works, how to actually save money, how to be frugal, and how to manage money. And many people have those problems. I've had those problems many times myself, being irresponsible, as well as most folks have as well. But that's kind of, you have to be careful with the types of girls that you choose over here in Colombia, because many of them are not financially literate. They're not financially literate, particularly if they don't have any education beyond high school. And like I said, it's 85% of the people over here. So just be careful with the dating in Colombia, and try to take heed to some of the experiences that you've had, particularly if they have been negative. And you need to pay attention to, as I said, the patterns, and figure out different strategies on how to meet women. And I was talking about that earlier, being in a medical building, or being in a financial institution, or one place I was at a couple of weeks ago. I was at the University of Antioquia, and it is a very big campus, a very nice campus in Colombia. They have quite a few major universities here throughout Medellin, and you will run across instructors and professors that actually work up there. So I would consider that a good place to meet different women on different levels, that one would be compatible with, regarding education and one's ability to make more than the average income. So I'm gonna go ahead in this video and pick up a part 3 regarding online dating, bitch ass niggas, all types of experiences going on in Colombia. All right, I'm your man DK, and I'm out.